Hello. This video is very to the point, I know, and it's content I've been wanting to make for a while about sharing my opinion and sharing my life lessons and stuff on things. So, without further ado, I'm just going to get into it. So, here is why you can't get a job. Here is why you can't get that opportunity that you want so badly. I'm going to tell you why, because I've been in that situation so much. Now, I want to take you back to 2017. Yeah, 2017. I had just graduated from university. I did a media and communications degree. And I had set my mind on working in post-production, video editing in the media industry. And I knew in my heart that that was one of the things I was destined for and was destined to do. Because not all of us, but some of us, just know in our hearts the things that we were destined to do in life. So it's like, oh, we have this pull towards it, so why can't we achieve it? So, long story short, it took me until 2022 to get a full-time job, or even any kind of job, in post-production, video editing, social media management in the media industry. And it's not because I'm not any good, it's not because of anything really that I was doing wrong, it's all a timing thing. Like, I had this incredible opportunity to go to, and I've made a video on this before, so I will leave a link in the description of that video so that you can watch it later, and I'll also put it at the end screen. But anyway, I was shortlisted from hundreds of people down to just 7 or 8 people in a room to go and have basically like a job interview thing for a digital intern at Nickelodeon in London. And I was like, oh, this is amazing, I'm gonna get it, it's my dream, etc. And I went, and it was alright. Obviously it didn't go my way, but I thought I did really well, and I was just so like, I'm gonna get this internship thing, I'm really excited. And then when I didn't get it, I was crushed because I put my hopes up too much. But then when I got my full-time job, I met the person that got the digital internship the year after I went for it. And I said to her, what did you do in the job? And a lot of it was very illustrative. And I can't draw very well at all. And there was no mention of anything really all that illustrative in the internship description, or when I went in person. There was, when I did all the tests for it, there was no indication. And she told me about what it was actually like and everything, and I realised that it wasn't for me after all, even though it really did seem that way when I was there. And I was so excited. But during that kind of time, I was kind of going through important life lessons, like with relationships of all different kinds, like intimate relationships, platonic relationships, every kind of relationship. I was going through important lessons that I wouldn't have learnt as much or as easily if I was in a full-time job and I was busy. Everything happens for a reason. And then in my full-time job, I ended up being the official editor of Dragon's Den UK, their YouTube channel, Facebook channel, their Snapchat when they had one. I used to make those. And that was it. But it was intense. And one of the pitches that made it to TV, so I can talk about it, made it to TV but didn't make it on YouTube because it was really short. They do mini pitches in between the main ones. And I saw it in the edit, and it was somebody, and I can completely say this because it's been aired, it's fine, it's not a secret, it's not like any of the forbidden episodes that I'm not allowed to talk about, it's not anything like that, I'm not talking about anything I'm not meant to. So, I watched this pitch when I was editing, and as I said, it didn't make it to YouTube, but it made it to TV in season 19. And it was somebody that wanted to make a card business where you could include voice and video messages into the card digitally and make it more interactive. And none of the dragons liked it. And then I was like, well, I really like that idea, and I had that idea myself at the time before I'd seen this pitch that the dragons didn't like, and I was like, oh, I should pitch that to Moonpig. Sometimes I get really confident. Yeah, I'm weird like that. I just have this confidence sometimes. I'm just like, let's go for this, and it's a good thing, but it's also people kind of, yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing, just a good thing. I went on LinkedIn and I reached out to the CEO of Moonpig at the time, and I pitched this idea, and it didn't even get read. It didn't get read, it didn't get any attention, it got nothing. And then I was editing and I saw that pitch from Dragon's Den, the mini pitch that was like a minute or two long, and the dragons didn't like it, and then I mentioned it to somebody and they said, well, who are they to say whether your idea is good or bad or not, you know? They've turned down other businesses that have ended up being really successful, you know? So there's that debate, and I said, yeah, you're right. Then, I'm not kidding, no longer than a year later, I think it was, Moonpig started doing interactive cards with video, not photo, they already had photo, with video and audio and everything, the whole lot that I'd seen in this pitch and that I thought of myself. And I was like, huh. And I was like, yeah, who is anybody to tell you that your idea isn't good? As long as you believe in it, then why not? You know, I mean, there are some ideas that are so good and they're so obvious that they're going to succeed, and then there's others that aren't. But I'll tell you, I want to tell you a story just now that I just thought of. I was searching for ages for somebody to illustrate my autism comic book, and I had 2 people in mind that were willing to do it. And they were going to be paid for it and everything. And things just didn't work out. One of them just stopped answering their phone. The other one drifted off, did other opportunities that they wanted to do. And it never materialised. But then I met Monique, she's now my best friend. And she's helped me so much. And she's the reason why I know so much about Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is kind of what I ended up getting diagnosed with, as I've mentioned a little bit before on this channel. After me seeing one of my favourite people, Michaela from the band Yours Truly, I'm wearing their t-shirt right now actually, after seeing her and wanting to learn more about her condition because I care about her so much, and it was just a whole journey. And I think that the universe does these redirections on purpose, because it's like, oh, this person isn't destined to work on it right now, but this person is at this particular time, and fate makes everything fall into place how it was meant to. And it's great, and it's so worth the wait. the jobs that I applied for that I thought I would be perfect for and that would suit me and everything, that didn't work out, ended up me being kind of, you know, it's like, oh, I dodged a bullet there kind of thing. You know, like if you get the job and then a few months later the company goes bankrupt or something, you know, there's different examples. But what I'm saying is, trust the timing of your life and believe in your ideas. Don't think that any of your ideas are stupid, because you honestly never know. We never know what the next big thing is going to be, is what I'm saying. And if you can hear noise, it's my dog on the beanbag. I've got one dog on the beanbag and the other one is downstairs somewhere. She's making noise. Anyway, so I also read a book that I recommend, by the way, called Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, and it was really good. And towards the end of the book, spoiler, I'm sorry, but I won't go into it too much, but she had a novel or a short story or some kind of story that she pitched to her publishers, and the publishers basically said no and that they didn't like it or something like that. It got a rejection anyway. And then she pitched the exact same story to the exact same people at the exact same publishing house just a few years later or something. And this same person that rejected it then got back to her and said, yeah, we want to use it. So, and the author Elizabeth Gilbert was talking about, you don't know what kind of mood the person at the publishers was in, you don't know what kind of day they had, you don't know what kind of circumstances there were around it to make her reject it the first time. And I think it's all just timing. It is all just a timing thing. It's like when you date somebody, when you get into a relationship with somebody, you're like, oh, where have you been all my life? I was on this dating app, which I'm not on, by the way. I don't do dating apps anymore, really, that much. Yeah, you ask the person, you're like, where were you on this dating app when I was looking in this particular month? And they were like, oh, I was in a relationship with somebody else, and this happened and that happened, and here's what I learnt from the relationship. Because people get sent into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, or a mixture between a reason and a season, or a reason and a lifetime. You know, people are put into your life to help you achieve a particular goal, like how people have helped me along the way to get to where I am in life, education-wise in particular. I've had a lot of help like that from people that just came into my life and it felt like fate and everything worked out and I didn't fail, and it, you know, the right people show up at the right time, and what's yours cannot be taken away from you, and the door that you are meant to walk through will open for you at the right time when it's meant to, when you have learnt enough lessons to be able to walk through that door. So yeah, I'm one of these people that talks very, not philosophically, but like, I believe in fate, I believe in miracles, I just believe that everything just works out in the end. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. Yeah. So anyway, and people that are no good for you that come into your life, or a terrible situation that happens, it's all to teach you a lesson that you need to learn. So for example, I lived somewhere where there was a lot of rubbish outside and it was piling up, and the estate agents, the real estate agents weren't doing anything about it to sort it out. Neither was the landlord or anybody. So then I paid money that my granddad gave me as a present, as a gift, to get a professional waste removal company to come and clear it. And then, less than a week later, the estate agent or the landlord or whoever it was then sorted it out and got it cleared. And I'd paid all this money, and I was thinking, what was that about? And I realised that it was the universe saying to me, Steff, you can't be responsible for other people's rubbish, quite frankly. Because I'm one of those people that I used to be too much of a fixer. Like, I used to, I've got better at it now, I used to have a bit of a saviour complex where I used to want to make everything better in people's lives, and I used to get really sad and bogged down about it whenever I couldn't do that for somebody, whenever I couldn't see the way to improve somebody's life and things. So yeah, there was a lesson for that. And also when I was in university, in my first year and in my third year, most of the time anyway, I used to have, flatmates, roommates that used to not clean up after themselves, and then I used to do their dishes, and I shouldn't have done. And it's lessons from that. It's like, Steff, you need to only focus on what is your responsibility and to not clean up everyone else's messes as well as your own. And that was the lesson I got from that, And there was a lot of saviour complex relationships I had that I've now come out of that showed me that I needed to learn these things and to clear that energetic blockage so that the right things can come into my life. So yeah, so there's that. And yeah, the reason why you can't get hired, or the reason why you're not getting that opportunity, or the reason why you can't find a boyfriend or a girlfriend or somebody of any gender, and I say why you can't find a partner exhaustively, because everyone's so bloody relationship obsessed. People act so desperate, like it's really just pees me off. Like, love is embarrassing as it is, like love is so embarrassing, but it's sweet as well. But I just think everyone needs to chill out and like not be so focused on dating and relationships and achieving things, because I'm not kidding, it will happen when it's destined to happen. It really will. You can't force anything. It can't just be you trying to smash down this door. It has to open at the right time. It's got nothing to do with you not being talented or not enough, or your idea not being good enough, or anything about that. It's just a timing thing. It's like right now, I'm sitting here unemployed. Like, just flat out unemployed. But I know in my heart and mind that I lost my job at the particular time because I was meant to focus on the things that really light me up inside, which is acting and music. And I know that I'm going to get there with it. And I hope that in a few years' time we watch this back and we're like, yeah, Steff was right. She made it. And I think so. It's just a timing thing. Yes, it's hard work as well, but it's also, right place, right time, meeting the right person at the right time. It's all fate. It's like someone says, if I didn't go to this particular event on this particular day, I would never have met my husband or wife or gender neutral term of marriage, or your business partner, or a friend that is instrumental and influential in your life, or something. It just happens. It just happens. And that is the dialogue that I want you to take away today. I want you to think about it. But also, don't be afraid to dream really big and make a vision board, even if it's just in your notes app on your phone. Get really clear about what you want out of this life, because we only get one life. And it's kind of short, it's kind of long too, depends on the cards you dealt, really. But yeah, thank you for listening. If you have any opinions or anything you want to share, do the usual, just comment down below. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, the usual things, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.